All right, it's going to be a pretty interesting week coming up, mostly because CES is about to happen. And typically, we could look at this in some aspects for gaming because it's very technology focused, and you have certain companies show up that generally drive gaming technology. However, that might not be the case this year. And that's one of the reasons I think this is such an interesting year specifically for gaming because I'm kind of curious how much it gets pushed into the background for, well, you could probably guess what I'm about to say, but we'll take a look at that here today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. So in a way, this is sort of a quick look at what you could expect to see at CES because we do have the schedule and we know some of the big players and what they're going to be focusing on here. So let's take a look. This is over on their website. January 6th to the 9th. So it's going to be starting here in a couple of days. Technically, it's starting up they'll have like some early stuff happening with media and introductions, that kind of thing today and tomorrow. But then it's just sort of off and running from there, right, for the rest of the week. And a lot of it, I'd say, coverage wise, is going to come from the floor with different exhibitors. You'll see all kinds of images, videos, all kinds of interviews from different companies with people just kind of walking through and doing all of that on the spot with a camera and microphone. So it'll be something to keep an eye out there. But we do also have all kinds of presentations that'll happen. Now here's the thing about CES this year. All right, is it's going to be very AI focused. In fact, there's a little button, which I'm in the way right now, that says Ask AI, and then it comes up and it, shout out to Copilot, going to help us out if we need to figure out what we need here. But if we go over here, right? So this is on their site, and they have a nice rundown of all the days and all the different events and some of the big companies that will be presenting. And for the most part, you're going to see technology that is going to set the stage for the next couple of years. At least gives you an idea as to the direction these companies want to go in. Doesn't necessarily where they're going to end up, but what they're kind of envisioning for the next few years and the future from their angle. And so Samsung is, I think, the first one up. Yes. So CES unveiled and then Samsung first look immediately. Now, Samsung Electronics unveils its vision for the device experience division in 2026, along with new AI driven products and customer experiences. So AI is going to be coming up a lot. Prepare yourself for that. And I think I did a quick search, like Control F for one of the main pages for AI, and it came up 70 something hits. And some of them were, oh, it's A and I together in a word, but more than half was just the use of the two letters AI for artificial intelligence. So get ready to hear quite a bit about this. All right. So LG Electronics, they're up here Monday. This is all Pacific time. So 8 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. And they've already kind of talked about some of the stuff they're going to show. I think the most interesting thing that I saw that they would be showcasing here in person, they have these 5K resolution monitors that you hear 5K and you're like, what's the point of that? Video cards with how expensive they are. What am I going to do? Well, the idea around it that I think is kind of interesting is that AI upscaling would be handled by the monitor. Hey, a good use for AI. Okay, upscaling, something that makes sense for trying to help consumers with how expensive a lot of the parts are around building these PCs. It seems like if you're someone creating a monitor, company like LG, you'd have to think outside the box and come up with a way to make it so the monitor can kind of do some of the heavy lifting that your video card would be required to do. So that way it could support any video card, not just one that came out in the last 2 or 3 years. Some people are going to be looking backwards, maybe even 5, 6 years for video cards at this time, because if it has anything more than 8 GB of VRAM attached to it, the prices are jumping in the secondhand market. I was just looking at some video cards. It's ugly out there. So if we can have things like these monitors come out that have a form of upscaling that's good, built in, it could be terrible upscaling and then just no one use it. There's no point. So hopefully they have that worked out. But here's the thing, no price tag attached to these monitors that they already announced, no release date. So probably not for a little while and probably very expensive anyway. Kind of defeats the purpose then overall of the idea of having AI upscaling built into the monitor. They're 5K resolution, but it seems like the pixel count isn't necessarily as high as you'd want it for a 5K monitor, so people are already kind of crushing it for that. The AI upscaling part is the thing I'm more interested in. So if you have like a 4K monitor that's already kind of proven with its quality, and then all of a sudden the next model has a form of AI upscaling that's good built in, okay, now we're getting somewhere with this whole thing. You know what? It's funny. The one that stood out to me here as I was scrolling through is it's not one you'd expect. Okay, so Hisense will show off some, I'm sure, some a couple of TVs and stuff. That'll be interesting to see what they show off that isn't available for our living room for the next 5 years. The Lego Group. I have no idea what they're going to do. I think this is the first time they've attended a CES. So they partner with all kinds of companies. I mean, the idea of CES to show off all kinds of future forward thinking technology. I'm kind of curious what they have. So that's 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. on Monday. All right, so I guess keep an eye out for that one. And then we have, let me scroll down a little further here, past some of the AI stuff. We have Nvidia. They're right after Hyundai. I wonder if they're gonna show off a car or something. But anyway, Nvidia right here, press conference at CES 2026. Of course, Jensen will be there. Loves his stage presentations. This is supposed to go on for an hour and a half. I feel like he's gone to CES and taken up multiple hours, like 2 to 3 hours before. So an hour and a half seems kind of short. And then you look at it and go, okay, the latest NVIDIA solutions driving innovation and productivity across industries at a press conference. NVIDIA's biggest thing now, clearly, are the chips that they're producing for artificial intelligence. And I think this is another chance for them to pump up their stock value and really let the world know once again, yeah, a lot of these companies are reliant on us. Don't forget, we're at the center of all of this. So I think it is going to be 80% talking about their chips, data centers. They mentioned driving innovation, so more about, I'm sure, self-driving, mapping the real world, probably robotics. Unfortunately, probably nothing to do with gaming. And that's just the reality we're in right now with how expensive VRAM is getting. They know that they have no issues selling expensive DRAM or chips that then attach to tons and tons of DRAM or RAM. They have no problem selling that to AI companies who need to buy them anyway. So they're going to be really showing themselves off, I'm sure, in that regard. So unfortunately, I'm not expecting Nvidia to do much of anything that will excite gamers, and in fact, probably annoy gamers more and more just based on what's happening right now in the industry when it comes to pricing around video cards. The 5090 that we had discussed previously with its price going up, it's $3,500 to $4,000 at this time, from what I'm seeing at most retailers, and then certainly in the secondhand market, people reselling them. So it's already getting ugly, and it's been a few days since that story broke. Also, you think I'm kidding with the AI stuff? 2 p.m. to 2:40 p.m., 2 p.m. to 2:40 p.m., 2 p.m. to 2:40 p.m. There's a 40-minute block with 3 different things happening talking about AI. Supercharge your business with agentic AI, an AI copyright and data valuation conversation, conversational AI and virtual engagement. I'm telling you guys, you're going to hear that a lot coming out of CES. But fear not, because Sony will be there with Honda. So, wait, do you remember, was it last? I think it was last year. Last year, where Sony and Honda announced that they were collaborating on an electric car together. And one of the I guess the big things that they were doing was putting PlayStation 5 access in the car. Well, it turns out it's going to be remote play, and that is available. I feel like this press release went out a few weeks ago, again, just to let everyone know. Yeah, you're going to be able to remote play, stream your PS5 from the cloud in this Afila car. And it seems like that's Sony's presence here at CES, and that's kind of a shame. I mean, I don't necessarily go into CES expecting Sony to go big with PlayStation stuff, but in the past they've at least done something. And remember, they showed us the logo for the PS5. That was a big deal. So it's 45 minutes, 5 to 5:45. I guess it'll be funny to see a PS5 remote play in a Fila electric vehicle from Honda. And as sad as it sounds, that might be the big video game thing coming out of this. But then we go into AMD. Yes, that's right. AMD's keynote right here. Dr. Lisa Su. CEO, AMD, will share her vision for delivering future AI solutions from cloud to enterprise edge devices. Okay, so I'm laughing, but it what would they even do here that would work into gaming? So the thing with AMD is they've partnered with OpenAI. They're also making chips for them because the money is flowing. It's getting thrown around everywhere. So why not throw our hat in the ring and just see what they can do? And so I think they're going to be talking once. I mean, it says right here, future AI solutions. They'll pump themselves up for AI. There was hope that AMD would go into this event and have a, I don't know, 9080 XT or something to show off some really powerful card that would probably be once again stupid expensive, but something to compete with Nvidia's top of the line cards they have now. And it would justify AMD slapping a ton of VRAM on it because it would be very expensive, probably $1,500 minimum. Well, why not? Why would they do that when they can just sell to the the AI companies? Again, that's just how a lot of this is going. Here's the thing I will say: the potential. You could see Lisa Su talk maybe about their collaboration with Microsoft right now. And while the next gen consoles feel like they're kind of in flux and we're not really sure what's going to end up happening here with the next Xbox or the next PlayStation, just with the current marketplace, cloud gaming has been coming up a lot. It's mentioned cloud to enterprise. And Microsoft is very clearly trying to push cloud gaming with xCloud. And then, of course, Sony and AMD are working together right now on Project Amethyst. We've had a couple of videos that were released by Mark Cerny and AMD detailing some of their progress. An update could also be shared here by Lisa Su. Maybe Mark Cerny also comes out, or who knows, Herman Holst, Nishino, somebody. But outside of that, they could even talk about this PSSR update, as that is something that is also linked to AMD with their work on FSR. So that would technically play into the idea of AI with some of their machine learning and upscaling techniques. So that's kind of where we are right now, looking towards AMD maybe to tap Microsoft, talking about some of their Xbox Cloud initiative, and then also to Sony maybe talking about their PSSR update. But I did mention there will be other exhibitors there, smaller ones that maybe don't make the big splash at a keynote or something, like 1X Player. So they say see our latest gaming devices, including unreleased models, live at our booth. Hands-on demos, exclusive first look. Don't miss it. They make some weird stuff. Okay, like just outright, they do. Some of the devices they come up with are weird, off the wall, and actually fit into CES very, very well. So if you're there, I would stop by the booth and try out probably some of the strangest looking handhelds and devices that you've ever seen, but it'd be fun to see what they show up with there to try to get some headlines. We also have the Asus ROG. Now, Asus made headlines recently because they are raising their prices right ahead of CES. Go figure. CES is an expensive place anyway in terms of the tech that's shown off. And while it's the consumer electronics, it's not really for, they're going to show a TV and it's like, oh yeah, that TV is 20 grand. It's like, wow, it was fun while it lasted. So it's, again, more stuff they're showing that will become more affordable for us in like 5 or 10 years. So I assume with Asus, they're going to show up with some laptops for ROG. They'll show up with some monitors, that kind of thing. But, you know, we'll see if they have any surprises here. They say there's a CES live stream January 5th, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So we'll see if they have anything fun to announce. We have JSOX. They do a lot of the accessories for Steam Deck and Switch 2, that kind of thing. And typically they're pretty good. I think they're like their screen protectors, their cases. They have some pretty interesting strategies around what are very common devices or cases and accessories to go with it. So, I mean, we'll see what they have to show off there. And then we have GameSir setting the CES 2026 industry disrupting innovations. Tune in January 6th to the 7th. See our Swift Drive and Turbo Drive tech in action. Witness a massive reveal lineup. Rewriting the retro gaming portable experience. Okay, so we'll see if they have anything there when it comes to attachments for phones or those handheld emulation devices. Something along those lines. Esports controller, motor vibration innovation, and ultimate symmetrical controller. So there you have it. That's CES. It's not as exciting this year just because, again, the artificial intelligence very clearly at the forefront of this. I mean, even if you look at CES, their website, it's so like Explore CES is just artificial intelligence. That's their big featured topic is all about this. And I know CES is very technology oriented, but this has just completely taken over at this time. So I mean, it might be like this every year until something happens with AI and it completely explodes and falls through, or explodes and becomes a really big thing and everything works out and it's hitting on all cylinders. Then that just might be what CES turns into in general. So there we have it. Those are, I guess, some of the things to look forward to with their events, their presentations, their keynotes coming up. Out of all of these, the one that I guess I would look towards the most for anything potential for gaming might be AMD, and that is a stretch. But hey, I'll keep you guys up to date if you want to, I guess, get a quick summary of anything big that happens at CES. Stay tuned and subscribe here because I'll roll it into Newswave throughout the upcoming week. Or if anything really big happens, announcements or some crazy reveal out of nowhere, I'll make a video around that as soon as I can. But let me know what you guys think about CES 2026 so far, what we're seeing going into this week down below in the comments. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.